We're happy to have Mark Vallon here today, professor in the Legal Studies Department. He is the Assistant State Attorney for Juvenile Matters and teaches technology and law. So his presentation today, which we've titled, "Free is my favorite four-letter word, technology resources that won't break the bank," we think will be helpful for instructors who are looking to incorporate some technology in their teaching without having to spend a ton of money. And I was told to lie. So here I'm happy to introduce Tony Award and Nobel Prize winner, Mark Vallon.
Thank you so much. Astronaut school washout. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I think Caitlin said it best. Free is, in fact, my favorite four-letter word. So I have done what I hope is a lot of the background that you won't have to do. I have downloaded all the garbage. I have crashed my computer. I have had to take it to someone who knows better than me to fix stupid things that I did to it. So I'm hopeful that my poor experience will be of some benefit to you. There may be a bunch of things that I'll go over here that you know about already. If that's the case, well, enjoy and use them. If not, perhaps there's some other uses of things that you use now that we hadn't considered. But let me give you a little bit about me. I am Mark Vallon, and as you can see, consider myself to be adjunct extraordinaire, but more so, lover of free stuff. You may ask yourself what it is that qualifies me to give a course with respect to free software. Well, here's one of them. See, I work for the state. You may have heard that there's been a certain concessions package that's been passed by the state, which has a dramatic effect on my salary, particularly my future salary. So I've made it my life's work to find all the free stuff that I possibly can, to pay as little for anything as I possibly can, and to find the most useful stuff for the least cost. Here's some of my qualifications. I, of course, have been an adjunct. I need not tell you about pay and adjuncts, though it certainly could be a lot worse, and I'm very grateful to the university. And I've been a lawyer for a really long time, and contrary to what you might think, this, I think, is the major qualification. I consider myself to fall into this category, and thus have made it my life's work, as I said, to get as much for free as I can. The demonstration, if you will, is on a website called Prezi. Never discount the force of your EDU email address. Prezi is a presentation software. I invite you to take a look at it. There are all sorts of demonstrations, there's videos, there's etc. And you can get a lot of use out of this for free when you sign up for an account using your EDU email address. So I encourage that. For anyone who's ever had to sit through the horrific PowerPoint where someone puts up a slide and then reads it to you, this is a little better option. I'll have to get my next going. There we go. And this is my, there we go, this is my trip to Hawaii. The point, of course, being that that's my dear daughter on the right, my dear wife, obviously, in the middle. Anyhow. The point being not necessarily to brag about my trip to Hawaii nor my gorgeous family, but rather to show you that you can upload your own things. There's a lot of very quality availability here for free, as you can see. And you can do what you will with it as it goes. It's a web-based, let me see if I can get us back to where I want to go. It's web-based software. It's in some respects SaaS, software as a service, and you can put as much up there as you like. I suppose, if I'm not mistaken, it will cost you in order to download and use the non-web-based application. But if you just want to use the web, and you can see you can use it in full screen, etc., there you go. So I find it, and I have to give credit where it's due. I learned this because a student taught it to me, who said, I hate PowerPoint, I don't want to do PowerPoints anymore, so this is what I'm going to do. And I thought, wow, something I absolutely was not aware of. I think it's a great software, great fun to use as well. Not necessarily as intuitive as I might like it. I'm the first to admit that. Perhaps it's just me. Not necessarily as intuitive. As you can see on the upper right, it's labeled private. If I wanted to put together a presentation with someone else, I can make it public, they can go in, look, make changes to it, etc. So there's some availability that way as well. Now I'll forewarn you, I have a whole lot of things open, as you can see, and that's only in one web browser. I have several others open as well. So things could crash and go horribly wrong at any moment. I just want to give you that as a disclaimer as well. Take it for what it's worth. Okay. Some of the things that I think we need to talk about when we talk about free stuff is, as I said, stuff you may already know, but may be well underused. Perhaps you're familiar with Word. If you're not, I don't understand how you can survive in today's society. But, so here's Word. And way in the back here, there we go. As I said, it's going to be a little slow for me, so you'll have to excuse me. I want to start on a new document. Here are Office templates. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of them, as you can see. So I'll just give you an example that I probably shouldn't. You see certificates right there in the middle. So my dear wife is certainly involved in the Girl Scouts. And oh, we forgot, we gotta stop at Staples. I need to get certificates made for the girls, and we have a program. And don't worry about it, dear. We don't need to stop at Staples. I have certificates right here. So I click on certificates. There's how many different forms available. I pick what I like, I change what I don't, and we move on. Did you forget to get the card on your way to well, there you go. So there's a lot of great available stuff already preloaded. You never even bother to look. When I teach the technology and law course, I concentrate quite a bit on time and billing software. And it's all very specialized software, the utility of which is nebulous at best. So I get onto Excel and I find a time and billing worksheet. And I call it up in Excel, I make a couple of changes to it. If somebody has done the work for me, I'm not inclined to reinvent the wheel. It's just a matter of knowing where to look. So here I have all these great templates. You can get further templates online if you like. Excuse me. If you, like me, want to actually do PowerPoint presentations and you've seen all the standard backgrounds and people are going to know that you just uploaded the standard background, why don't you get out to PowerPoint, go into New, look at templates, and get one off the web. There's a million of them out there that you've never seen and nobody has seen. So upload them, make it a little more interesting. In any of these Microsoft-based, Office-based programs, there's all sorts of absolutely free stuff. Which brings me sort of to my next point. Since I need to talk about Microsoft, because how can you not? And by the way, I'm a believer that you talk about Microsoft because they did it right. That's just my thought. Never discount your EDU email address. Here you have the Microsoft Store. And as you can see, for a mere $149.99, you can get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. If you don't use OneNote, you should. It's a tremendous program. It's an outline program. It's a notebook. It's an unlimited space notebook. I'm a big fan, what can I say? Or, if you want to look a little deeper, you could get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Outlook, Publisher, and Access for $100. Just gotta look a little bit farther. Okay, this is, as you can see, called Office Professional Academic 2010. $100. You'll have to put in some information about your EDU email address. I invite you to do so. I learned this personally because I use Access for my technology and law course, and it's not a readily available program. And I've had to go out and buy it separately so I could learn how to use it so I could teach it. And then this came out, and I went, there you go, I'm done. See, Publisher, I don't even know what that means. I haven't gotten that far yet, but it's right there, it's available. So never discount your EDU email address. This, as I mentioned, is SkyDrive. SkyDrive is the cloud. It's where you take your documents, you upload your documents, so they are available to you wherever. I have this continuing fight with my darling daughter, whose picture you've seen, about her flash drive that I need to buy every year for her to go to school. Not that it's such a hugely expensive endeavor to buy this flash drive, but I have destroyed flash drives. I have lost flash drives. Why do I need a flash drive when everything I have is right here? I can upload everything I want, it's immediately available. And all I need is to sign up and create a Hotmail account, which I never look at. Here, as you can see, I have the ability to share things. So some of the things I have, as you can see, I haven't shared with anyone. So I guess in theory, I could put up some fairly private, personal stuff. I'm not so sure I want to do that, but nonetheless. I can put up a PowerPoint presentation, make it available to other people, and have them change it, have them sort of whiteboard it, though I'll show you a better whiteboard in a moment. And as you can see, I have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote all available. And if we look at a Word document, just for the sake of doing so, assuming that you have worked on Word or with Word in the past, look at the ribbons. We'll kick in a moment here. They're all the same. So it's not like there's any learning curve here. You've done this, you've worked with this stuff. I mean, how much of this do you need? And it's free. Why am I spending hundreds of dollars to buy Word when I got it right here? Same thing holds with Excel, with PowerPoint, etc., all in Windows Live. If that's too much for you, do the same thing in Google. Google has some tremendous resources that you may or may not know about. Allow me to share a couple of them with you. So let me get out of this. I'm always afraid that the more that I have going, the worse things become. So here I have Google Docs. And in the same way as I did with Windows Live, I can put all my stuff on Google as well. I have a Google Calendar. I don't need to have Outlook, etc. I got a Google Calendar. Obviously, I don't use it, but nonetheless, you get my point. And a couple of other things to show you with respect to Google. If you've ever gotten into Google and you see where it says More, here's a couple of good ones for you. Google Scholar, if you're not using. This is the important part for me anyway. I can get legal opinions. It's sort of a quick and dirty way to get a legal opinion, but, and I don't know if I was actually, about to argue a case in front of the Supreme Court if I want to rely on Google Docs or Google Scholar to do that. When it first came out, it was absolute crap, but they have so improved the algorithms now that you can get some pretty decent research pretty quickly on Google Scholar as well. Let me show you something else you may or may not have ever looked at. Well, some people I have no use for Google Translate. So you can just type in whatever your little heart desires and it'll tell you how to say it in more languages than you'll ever need in a lifetime. I hope that's not true. And write down here, even more. Google's one of those funny companies that actually gives its employees time to play. It will go in and allow their developers to just do stuff. They have I don't know, I forget the number, but perhaps it's just urban legend, but they give them like 20–30% of the work week to just go and develop stuff. And that's how Gmail came about, and so on. But look down here, because these are great, in my opinion. And believe me, nobody's paying me, I'm not going to pay anybody, whatever. Google SketchUp, absolutely one of my favorite programs ever. I have it open here. It's an absolutely free, three-dimensional, drawing tool, I suppose. I've used this in my work world, and I would show it to you, but I probably shouldn't. I've used it in my work world to build a crime scene. And what this allows you to do, as many others, I can import a photo. So what I did in my case is I imported a sketch of the crime scene that was prepared by the state police. I imported that and I built the crime scene around it. And then we did trajectories for bullet shots and the like. and then you can make a movie out of it. So just an incredibly powerful tool for absolutely for free. Now, I suppose the other side, I hesitate to call it a downside. The other side is there's a great warehouse out there of pre-made stuff. So for example, in my thing I did for work, I needed a crib. And I thought, oh, if I have to draw a crib, I have absolutely zero artistic talent. If I have to draw a crib, we'll be here all day. There's a warehouse out there. And so I type in crib, and I get 100 of them. And I go, that's the one. Download it right into the drawing, and it's there. I sort of rescale it, I make it work for what I needed to do, and it's right there. The difficult part was, I also needed a dead body. So I typed in dead body, and you have to wade through about 60 zombies, but sooner or later, you get what you need.
Right.
Just suggesting. And look, you've got all the education and training and all the videos, and if you go through and you look at it, you kind of have to dig to find it, and I'm not prepared to do so and don't want you to sit there. There are people who make, you know, spaceships and ray guns and incredible stuff. I mean, like the Taj Mahal, all in 3D. You could literally walk through them.
Where do you Google those images? Right in SketchUp? Okay.
They have, or if you look hard enough, it's just called the warehouse. So I'll type in SketchUp warehouse and it'll show up. Excuse me.
Excuse me, can those be then downloaded, say, into a PowerPoint? Okay.
Not only that, not only download into a PowerPoint, the best part is if you actually do walk through it, you can create scenes and make a video.
Oh.
So that you can, and it download, and you import it into your PowerPoint, and you got a really cool video, I suppose, like that one.
Okay.
I'll just do this one for no apparent reason. It's just, frankly, it's so thorough, and there's so much to it. See for yourself.
This is one you created?
No, this is their gallery. As a state employee, I do have some time on my hands, but not quite that much, exactly. Anyway, I was so very impressed with that I figured it's certainly worth showing you. There's a competitor out there too that my brother-in-law recently made me familiar with. This one, and I haven't looked at it in any great detail either. Blender.org. Same deal, it's got all the, I mean, if you look at this stuff, that's all just drawn stuff. And I don't know how crazy you want to go. There was another program out there called Maya that was actually used in movies that they were giving away for nothing, but was so difficult to use. Google SketchUp takes a little bit of a touch, I'll give it that, in order to make it work. But incredible stuff that you can do, and this is all free. So, you know, my favorite four-letter word, usually free beer. Those are my two favorite four-letter words. It's another day. Let me go back to the EDU email address. If you don't use Adobe or Acrobat, you should. I shouldn't say that. Use whatever works for you. I decided that because we have it preloaded here at school, that I would get Adobe Acrobat. It's what, $300-400, except if you have an email address that ends with EDU, you can get it for $150. I think I got mine for $119. And here's a lesson in software for you. When I, Mark Valent, buy something, you should wait a week, because the next big thing is coming out right after I buy something. That was the case here. So I bought Acrobat 9 after kicking myself for a long time and knowing I would have to spend my own hard-earned money. I bought Acrobat 9. A week later, Acrobat 10 came out. So I called them up and I said, and I quote, "Come on!" So they sent me the new one. So they're honorable people, I'll give them that. All right, let's see. Let me go back to the cloud for a moment. So anyway, as you can see, and just to point out to you, Adobe Education Software. You have to confirm. I think there was a couple of sites where I bought stuff that I had to scan in my university ID, and I had to send them a copy of my university ID. But once done, they're more than happy, done deal. It took no time, so feel free. But having said that, these, I haven't played with this much either. This is another cloud-based storage thing. Amazon started up with this. I have some legal issues with respect to keeping stuff online. But frankly, if I want to keep my Hawaii pictures online or some such thing, not all that concerned about it. If, on the other hand, I was engaged in the private practice of law and maybe wanted to put client files I might have to step back and look at something else. Anyway, so Amazon S3, that's their cloud-based storage. I'll show you a couple of other cloud-based storage. Oh, this is a good one too. It bears mention. I keep all of my student work now online as well. So I will not accept paper documents, in large part because I'm trying to train my students that we're becoming a paperless society and you better get used to it, because you better get used to it. So get used to it now. So what I used to do was download all this stuff onto my flash drive. We've already talked about the flash drive. I will not belabor that. So Google now gives me so much available free space to store stuff. I thought, why am I not using that? So I broke down into the various classes that I'm teaching, the various things that I'm having them do. When they send me their assignment, I will put the right tag on it, I'll look at their assignment, I'll put it, so if there's some question later on as to why they got the grade they did, etc., I can just call it right up and we'll have a chat about it. And somewhere in here, oh there it is, notice, 3% full. I've been using this for years, 3% full. I have, what, 7 gigs, right? I got 7 gig. And if you think of it, 1 gigabyte of information is equivalent to a pickup truck full of paper. So say, whoever looks at these things. So I've got 7 gigs worth of space here, and I've got 3% full. Okay. We talked about that. We talked about Google Docs. We talked about, so just to, I suppose, close this up, take a look at the even more, because there's a lot of stuff out there. And it may come in very handy for you. Some things obviously better than others. A lot of these in beta versions, so they're still sort of out there trying them out, see how they work. Some work better than others, just like in real life. This is another one of my favorites. This is when I bought my Adobe, obviously. This is Acrobat.com. Yes, 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 I certify. Acrobat.com, shared workspaces. So much the same thing. I can create documents right online. I can store them online. I use this for my forensic evidence course. It's an article on false confessions. I did. There we go. It's an article on false confessions. I posted online. Go ahead and take a look at it. If you look down here, anyone can come in, anyone that I invite can come in, look at my document, can make changes to my documents, can post notes on the document, can literally make changes. And if I don't like the changes, there's a method by which I can just go back to an earlier version. And it just takes a moment. It's free. Did I mention that? But here's another one for you. It's also got this free web conference thing, and I haven't set it up yet, so it'll take a moment. But one of the things that you can do with the web conference is take over someone else's computer. Now, you may ask why anyone would ever want to do that, and here's the answer that I have. I had a student who said, you know, Mark, my mom got a computer and she emails, and it's fine, whatever. Except my mom lives in Springfield. And every now and again, when my mom clicks on the wrong thing, I gotta drive up to Springfield and fix it. Okay. So with something like this, you can get onto mom's computer and fix mom's computer if that's what you care to do. There's another great way to do that too, by a program called logmein.com. It's free. I didn't set it up for you. I get terribly annoyed when I read that some idiot left their laptop in their car from, the Department of Revenue Services, and somebody stole the computer, and oh, dear taxpayer, thanks a lot for all your cash. Really sorry, but now all your personal information's out there somewhere. Really sorry. I got that one like 2 weeks after I got one from the Veterans Administration. Dear veteran, thanks a lot for all your service to the country. Oh, by the way, why would you do that when I can log into my desktop computer from here? Not an issue. Logmein.com. And of course, this won't connect up the way I want it to, but when you get a meeting going, a whiteboard shows up. And you write on the whiteboard, they write on the whiteboard, and you can save the whole thing. Now, the difficulty with Acrobat.com is you're only entitled to have, if I'm not mistaken, a 3-person meeting, unless you pay for it. So I don't know how popular you are, how you want to do it.
But you can save that, is what you're saying, okay.
So I like that. And this too, obviously, is a cloud-based software.
Can I just
Please.
interject for a second, Mark? That people, just for the sake of an announcement, isn't Adobe Connect, is a web conferencing tool?
Yes.
And that the university is piloting WebEx right now. If you're interested, you want to contact R.J. McGivney. It's already being paid for by the university, so it's free to you, but there's limited, 1,000 accounts or something, but.
And just to show you, to illustrate my earlier point, so here's just, from some document I had on my computer that I uploaded. And my poor darling wife, who gets suckered into this stuff by me all the time, here, you gotta get on this stair, here, you gotta get on. So she started making notes on here, and I started making notes. I told you I had to upload my ID, so there's my ID and such. And here's all the good stuff. And if you look way down the bottom here, these are the tools to get it back to an earlier version if I don't like all the crap that's out there. And if you look, it's all the same sort of stuff that you know how to use already. So it's all out there and it's all free. You have, again, a limited number of workspaces that you can create in the free version, but depending upon how you want to use it, how much you want to use it, there's some good availability there for you. I'll give you this one. I don't know how useful it will be to some. And obviously, my being in the legal studies department comes in handy for me. This is a case management and trial presentation program. It's extraordinarily powerful. It does more than I can figure out how to use, at least so far. And the Visionary 8 version is free. That's pro. It's not free. But free, there's a free version in there. They make their money by synchronizing depositions with the deposition transcript so that at trial time or whatever, you can show that. But this allows you to do some very interesting, put stuff up on the screen and manipulate things, do call-outs, do highlighting, etc. So it's another good tool for that purpose. It has its limitations, obviously, being free. It has its limitations. But there are other similar programs out there that will run you anywhere from $1,500 to $3,500, and this is free. They win. My opinion. Okay. There's a couple things. Here's my WebEx meeting, by the way. And there's my whiteboard.
Does it
Or
capture
my title,
audio?
Whiteboard. I'm sorry?
It captures audio too, I see.
I must have closed it inadvertently. Yes. So you can do quite a bit with it if you care to. Do quite a bit with it. That you've seen. Hold on, this is several different places, obviously. We've been through that. Let me show you a couple of others. And one other thing I wanted to bring up here. This is obviously Firefox as a web browser. Firefox has a really nice feature that I like to do these various add-ins. So you can do private browsing and such. But it's got this one that I really like, Download Helper. So that, for example, let me get on a YouTube here. Excuse me. typing has never been my forte. In fact, typing generally has never been my forte. The difficulty, of course, now I've crashed, so that's not gonna help. Anyway, what happens is any video can be downloaded. If you look, wait, see, way in the corner right there. That's the download helper. So using Firefox, which is not as stable as I might like it to be, you can download videos for your own purposes, and, you know, maybe not such an issue now that with Blackboard we can do this anyway.
Oh, there it goes.
Nope. Just click on something for the sake of doing so. I have no idea what I'm clicking on or why, so don't blame me. The point is, you see that right there? There we go. Alrighty. So with that, I can download this and post it,
Oh,
or embed it into my PowerPoint. That's not what I need to do at this point. The idea being, and maybe not such a big deal now, since on Blackboard we can do this sort of linking. We couldn't do that before. At least for me, it was a big deal. And again, it's a free tool. The only limitation being that when you play it back, it's got a watermark on it. I can live with that. We've talked about most of that. Talked about most of that. Talked a little bit about that. I've talked about this. These are some that you may well be fully familiar with and not need me to talk to you about, but I will anyway. Yale has put all of their stuff online. As you can see, the Peabody Museum is entirely online. I had no idea. I teach paralegal studies. I have no idea what I'll do with this, but it's just so cool I had to share it with you. This is another one that's come in handy for me. National Academies Press. This is basically just that, and I've been using this for my forensic science course. Let me just get onto something here. The idea is, as you can see, you can buy stuff cheap, but you can download it for free. Free is my favorite four-letter word. We've talked about that. Yes, there it is, the future of federal household surveys. Help yourself. The idea, though, is to download it for nothing. If you're really hot and bothered about having a hardcover, you can get that too. But it's a really good resource. Just thought I'd bring that to your attention. I, of course, like these. I don't know if you have the opportunity to use the Cengage people. They've been very good. I encourage my students to get all of their textbooks online, because that's the way it goes. And they're considerably cheaper, as you can see. There's a $78 savings. Students don't like doing that. The students don't like the online textbooks. Too bad. It's going to be a paperless world. I have fights with my department chair, Regina Dowling. Regina yells at me that trees grow back.
that's her favorite line.
And I say, you know, spoken like someone who's never had to check the structural integrity of their floor so they can put up file cabinets. I don't want file cabinets. I got a, 100 terabyte hard drive. It's as big as my fist. I will never fill that in a lifetime. Why would I have file cabinets? There's also a great instructor website here where you can go through and find all of the good stuff that you may or may not need. And I'm looking to develop some course materials, so I went through here and said, sure, let me look at that one. And you click on it, and they just put it on your website and take a look. So anyway, I like that. Some free images, non-copyrighted images. I don't know if you're all that hot and bothered about copyright. I probably should be. I'll just say that, nothing more. But there's one. You know, some of them, they say they're not copyrighted, they're free. Yeah, they're free if you sign up for, you know, $50 a month. So take a look and see what you think. There's another.
What is this one?
This is called Pixelize, PXLEYES.com.
This is the Pixie Fairies. I think that's what they are, the Pixie Fairies.
Yes, our new daughter is 5 months old now. I'm looking forward to, anyhow.
Ah.
So let's see, there's that. Let me give you a couple of others here. There's that. We went through this, talked about that. That's what I need. I like this one too. Just a couple for you. I haven't played with this much yet, but I'd like to. I recall us having a seminar here at one point where you had the ability to click on and choose A, B, C, D or whatever as part of sort of an interactive coursework. And then I went to a meeting at the high school where my daughter attends, and they put some stuff up on the big board and said, take out your cell phone and text and vote.
In fact, I think John Williams in the math department is using this. He did he got a grant to try this out. People are interested, you might contact them.
And, you know, at least when I haven't explored it enough to be all that familiar with it. But when we did it at the high school, it was just tremendous. And you got, you know, obviously instant feedback. And I don't know how expensive it is. I understand there's some freeness about it. But I just thought it was such a great resource. So take a look at it, see what you think. I want to show you a couple of places to find good resources as well. Because I've looked at all the crappy ones that have all the ads with them and all that stuff, and they just didn't know. CNET, you must know CNET, right? CNET is a great resource. And if you go particularly here to downloads, now obviously it does a lot more than that. But they've also vetted the software. So it's all out there, it's all on their site. It's categorized, find what you will. I use this to find utilities software generally. I will never buy an antivirus software in my life, I just won't, I absolutely refuse. And I can get good, free antivirus software in so many places. I will never buy antivirus software. I have antivirus software, I have anti-malware software, I have ad software, all loaded, they work together fine, I have no problem with them, I haven't had a virus in I don't know how long. Here's the, look, for example, AVG, an excellent antivirus software, it's free. Avast, I use Avast, excellent, never had a problem. The YouTube downloader, we just talked about one that's available in Firefox, there's another one for you. The difficulty at WinZip, I use that one as well. The zip, there. I use the zip utility. I'm using Google Chrome, you're looking at it. And so some really good stuff. If you want to, if you have an idea and you say, you know what I need something that'll, this is the place to look and search for it. If you already have some idea of what it is that you're looking for, here's another good resource for you. FileHippo. I don't know where they come up with it either. But as you can see, all categorized. So another one. Now, I guess I giveth and I taketh away. On both of these, this is all free stuff, except when you click on it, and sometimes it says, yeah, free to try. So you gotta look a little bit. Okay, I mean, listen, they know how to sucker me into them, and they have. So. I haven't started playing with this one yet. I just got made familiar with it. Apparently for us lawyers, I guess, to be able to, because a lot of like you just learned in my Prezi that us lawyers were cheap rat bastards. So this is a way that we can, you know, exploit that to get our own websites up and running, I suppose. Here's another good resource for you, though. Pen drive apps. It's not what it sounds like. This is all portable software that you can quite literally put on a flash drive and take it with you. I really like this one. Right here, Faststone Capture. It's a screen capture tool. And if I were to say get on a website and maybe just need a little bit of that so I can show something on my PowerPoint, which I would never do because I'm very concerned about copyright issues, I would use this program to do that. So for example, I used it here when I wanted to show you about the add-ins. I used Fast Capture to take a screenshot, or I could take as much of it as I want. And there's a whole program that goes along with this, and I can show that to you as well. That's, I don't know, I've heard it described as the free Photoshop, but I don't necessarily buy that. Just by way of background, AdAware is one of the softwares that I use to, obviously the anti-ad software. I use CC Cleaner as a utility to make my computer run a little faster when I need it to. The only other one I want to give you now is this. I'll tell you about a couple of other ones, but this is a little more broadly useful. This is Dropbox. Dropbox, and I'll get on the website to show it to you. Once you get onto Dropbox, it's a folder, right? And it's a folder that's on my computer, and you've seen the contents of it. It's right here. Right, as you can see, it's in a file in my market directory called Dropbox, and there's all the stuff that I have in it. Dropbox is portable, it's mobile. I have it on my laptop, I have it on my netbook, I have it on my phone, and I have it on my iPod. And if I wanted to make a change to, for instance, the forensic technology document, and I make that change, it changes everywhere. It's a shared folder. So I have it everywhere that I have Dropbox. So if I were inclined, maybe I would put my to-be graded student work in here, and I would look at it, and I would perhaps keep my, I don't know, Excel spreadsheet in there, so I could do my grading, and I'll have it wherever I have it, and I don't need to worry about, losing my flash drive. I don't even need to worry too terribly about what's out there in the cloud. I have it right immediately available.
We use this one in our office, we love it, because we share folders between us, so if we have to, pass a document back and forth for feedback, it's very easy rather than attachment.
And it's one of those horrible that, once I started using it, I went, and here I've been sitting on it for this long, and I should have been using this all along. Let me give you one more, I thought I had it open, but I'll show you. So I have this, here I have my netbook here to show you, but openoffice.org. I got it here, that's why. This is a free program that looks just like the Microsoft suite of programs. So it has a word processor, it has a spreadsheet program, it has a database program similar to Access, it has a presentation program similar to PowerPoint. And if you looked at it, and you looked at the icons and such, you would be startled with how it looks exactly like Microsoft. Exactly, all the icons look the same, similar. This is an open source software, so people make changes to it. Because being cheap, I bought the netbook, so I didn't have to carry this laptop around all the time. So I buy the netbook. And I buy the netbook and I can surf the web and I'm happy and then. But I can't do any of my school stuff because I don't have the necessary stuff to do so. Well, I'm not gonna spend $150 to go on and get the Microsoft stuff, right? So I got this because it's free, absolutely free. It works like a charm. So I encourage you.
Now, do you have any problems with that, with like extensions, like saving stuff so that
Sometimes, yeah.
students can get it?
But since it's an open source software, you can save it as a Word document.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. That's a fairly recent change. You can save it as any of the Microsoft type documents, so it's easily opened anywhere. One more here. So a couple of my other favorites. Audacity. For those of you inclined to do audio stuff, I have Audacity on my laptop as well. I bought one of those little lavalier microphones. Sometimes I'll record my lectures, upload them to Blackboard if it's something particularly. And this too is an open source software, so it allows for a lot of good cross-platform stuff. Just some other fun for you. Have you ever looked at Zillow? You should, you'll be shocked. So if you needed to do, I use this in my real estate class. I also use it in my, how to track your deadbeats class. Speaking of how to track deadbeats, here's another one. People Finder. Some people like that. I like Zaba Search. When I type my name into Zaba Search, it will tell you everywhere I've lived for the last 30 years. Places where I have not lived in 30 years show up on Zaba Search. It's scary. My mother's in there. If you look up me, you'll find my mother, you'll find my daughters, you'll find scary. But there it is for you. Have fun.
And if you don't want to be listed in there,
Good
can you tell
luck.
them?
Good luck. You know why I say good luck, Marella? It's all based on open information. It's based on public information, for everywhere from magazine subscriptions to phone books. You remember phone books? On down. That's where they get their information. So good luck. Oh, let's see. The Social Security Death Index. This is some of the stuff we use in some of the legal courses if you're trying to find someone that's skip tracing, all those sort of thing. A good resource. I like this one too. This is the Internet Legal Research Group. Again, depending upon, and again, mostly for my purposes in my legal classes, there are not a great deal of good legal forms available online. So that I can give my students some idea what to do and how to draft documents, how to deal with documents. The Internet Legal Research Group is a particularly good resource, I think. I've looked at their documents. For the most part, their documents are very good. So I will, I'll send them that way. Oh, hold on. Take this in wrong. This is also not a bad one. BestSampleLetters.com. All kinds of good stuff. And it's not bad. They're not bad. As I like to tell students, and I'm sure you're in the same boat, don't use this stuff. Take it and use it as a template to draft your own things, but here's a good starting point for you anyway. And as you know, having that good starting point is hugely important. If you're into the computer stuff, here's a good one for you as well. The Electronic Discovery Reference Manual. These people, I'll have to find it for you and show you. Electronic discovery is the latest magic bullet in the legal field, where we have an opportunity to review not only written material, in sort of paper form, but also electronic material. So I can ask the other side to look at emails that went back and forth amongst their higher-ups, because boy, wouldn't that tell you something. So there's a method in place legally for us to do that. And this is the resource. This is a nonprofit, and what they determined was they needed a good, free database, a huge database, right? So that we could sort of figure out how to do this and how to do it properly, et cetera. So they needed a good, free database. So what they did was buy the Enron emails, and they are all here, all of them.
Oh,
If you want to look at Ken Lay's emails, they are in there. I've downloaded them. I have my students search them, etc. Really good stuff. I won't be able to find it now that I want, but I have this data set. It's a tough, huh? If they've since I since I've been using this, they've changed the data set in a good way, actually. To tell you who it is. There are, I dare say, more than hundreds of thousands of emails in here. Let's see. And as you know, Ken Lay managed to escape prosecution by dying. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. Jeff Skilling's emails are in there. Jeff Skilling is a great resource for me, because I can go as high as the Supreme Court and have my students do research on Jeff Skilling's appeals to the United States Supreme Court, and he's in jail now, and there you go. So an excellent resource if you like. And if you need some place to look at it, this one, ProDiscover 6. ProDiscover 6 is a forensic tool to look at computer hard drives. And it's free. There are a lot of other ones out there that cost a lot. This has some serious limitations, and I don't think I would use it for, you know, sort of court cases, if you will, but to get students familiar with the concepts, it's a great resource. So that's about what I have. Here's some various resources for you to take a look at, some availability for it, all free stuff. I'm happy to answer questions. If you want to email me about anything specific, be very happy to answer and to guide you the best that I can.